Let me alone. It's Friday. What's up? Let's talk. Let's believe you used to be. I'm Angel Naphtalie. Let's talk about it. It's Friday. What are you going to be doing? Ta-da. Time. Will you catch me when I fall? Would you catch me if I fall? Would you? Catch me when I fall. When I fall. Would you catch me if I fall? I'm curious. Would you catch me if I fall? Would you? I would catch you if you fell. I've been listening to music all day. That's what's got me through everything today. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between. I put the music on full blast today. And now I'm out. Not fall. I wish I could let you listen to the music, but, you know, I'll get flagged, so we can't do that. Let's see, what is the name of the song? It's called Catch Me When I Fall. Somebody Patterson. I think it's Rashawn Patterson. I love this song. I'm going to actually go home and get on my kit drums and play this song. I'm gonna lay down some tracks later, for sure. Will you catch me if I fall? I wonder if I've already done this song. I may have already done it, but I don't think I did. I think I've heard this song 1,000 times, but I haven't recorded it yet. In case you didn't know, I'm a drummer. Let's see, who we got on here? Thomas, how are you? Haven't seen you forever. Everything good? Good. Would you catch me if I fall? I mean, seriously, would you? You would? Yay, somebody will catch me. It's good to know, because sometimes you just don't know if people will really be there for you if you fall, you know? So I'm glad to hear that. So how's life? Like, what's going on with you? Like, you've been following me, you know, like what I've been telling you to do? Like, you've been coming out, listening to music? I went to the tavern at the end of the world last night. I got there late, but the vibe is still good. I missed the band. The band was Bosstown Heavy with Jimmy Trees. They're there every Thursday. Every Thursday. I gotta get this thing angled right, because it's really like hurting my back. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Got my makeshift stand here. Yeah, how's that? That's better. Now I can actually see what you guys are doing. I can see if you're texting me. Slow connection, but hey, you all hear me, right? I figured the sun is going down, but I had to come out of the house. I was going stir crazy, really, seriously. If I stay in my house too long, I start to get low-keyed. And I didn't want that to happen, because I woke up in a good mood. I woke up ready to tackle the world. Did I do it? No, but I was ready. I was ready. I forgot that today was Friday. And I said, you know what? I got to go take a walk. I got to go for a walk and just get some fresh air. And so that's what I'm doing. And then when I go home, I'm going to go in the drum room. I'm trying to figure out, I thought that was the moon behind me, but it's really a street light. I'm going to go in the drum room tonight and just work out. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I was in there last night for 2 songs. I did some kit drumming, and I did some djembe and kungas together. I did that last night. Just 1 song each. Because, you know, there's this problem with the phones, right? I record straight to my phones, and what happens is I don't always remember to put the Wi-Fi on for all the videos to go up to Google Drive. So then I get all these videos on my phone, and the phone won't let me save nothing. Can't have that happening. I don't have another solution. So if anybody has one, let me know. I don't want to be spending lots of money for storage. I already paid for something already. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Who else we get on here? Nobody yet? What? I came on later in the day so that people would come on, you know? Give everybody a chance. They always say, Angel, you go on too early in the day and then we can't watch you. And then I come on at this hour when you all should be able to watch me and you're still not on. Only Thomas. Thank goodness for that. Because I know you've been trying to get on for a long time. So, inquiring minds have been asking me, Angel, what are you going to be doing for the summer? I don't know. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm being held up from driving and doing things that I want to do. So what happened is I had eye surgery on my good eye. This is my good eye, my right eye. So this is probably in reverse for you right now. But I had eye surgery, and there's a complication, and they got to fix it. So what I should be able to see to drive, I can't, because the cells in my eyes decided to grow a film over the lens that they put in my eye. And this eye, my left eye, can't see schism. Well, it sees, but everything's distorted, so I can't rely on anything with this eye. So I have to wait until August, unless something else opens up between now and then, which I hope, and that's what I'm praying for right now. So you all can pray for me too. Like, put it out there in the universe that Angel needs her eyes. She's got things to do, places to go. I usually say I don't care about the people, but I do, because there's things I want to do, and it involves people, and I don't want to have to rely on people to do everything. Remember the song I said earlier, will you catch me if I fall? But I don't want to rely on everybody to catch me all the time. I want to be independent. I want to do my thing, you know. It's like there's so many musical ventures I could get myself into if I could just see better and get around. But I have to be able to drive to get to the places I want to go. So I can't rely on people to drive me everywhere. I wouldn't. If people are going in the same direction, that's different. But I don't want to be worrying about that. And I'm not taking Ubers everywhere. You know, you need money for that. And if I can't go out and make money, how am I going to have money, right? So it's frustrating to me that this summer may be very slow-keyed at getting things done. Now, there are a lot of bands right now who I have played with a few times who are out performing. One of them in particular is a band that Glenn had, and I am part of that band, and I feel, and I don't care if anybody gets their feelings hurt about it, but I feel very insulted that they've been having gigs and they can't even invite me to just sit in. They ain't got to pay me because I'm part of that band, but you can't invite me? All right. So that means I got to rely on myself. You know what I mean? I got to do music myself and not worry about anybody else, because nobody else seems to care. The Angel wants to play. I'm ready. I'm guys just don't even know. You just don't know. Talk about catching me when I fall. You all better catch me when I start flying. And then I'm going to leave you all hanging. Yeah. I can hear Glenn right now saying, what? You all ain't including her? Just saying. But that's all right. I have opportunities that are coming my way. So far, I just don't have the contract signed yet. I'm waiting on a date for August. And that is in New York. I don't know where in New York, but it's a fish fry that happens every year. It's a Jamaican fish fry. And the promoter has seen me perform, and he wanted me to actually bring the band that I was performing with. But they ain't inviting me to come out and play again, so you know what? I wouldn't do that now. They had the opportunity to make some money from Boston, but nobody wants to answer my texts or my calls, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And I told the promoter, I said, hey, you want a reggae band? I have one in New York. I can easily get that one. And that's probably what I'm going to do is the band in New York that I could work with. There's actually two bands, but the one that I probably would go for is Soldiers, because I am part of that band without being in it. I've been made official member and in place of Glenn. So Glenn is no longer here on the planet, so now I'm part of that. You know, everything that they do, I'm part of it. So I could easily have them come if there needs to be a reggae band. But I can also play without a band. All I need is a DJ, live music, you know, playing, or anybody can play. I'm going to drum to anything. So I would be doing hand drumming. Yeah, that's what I love doing the most. I'm not going to be doing any, I got to get that glare out of my face there. I'm not going to be doing any kit drumming with any bands right now. I'm getting there, but I'm not ready to sit in. I'm a perfectionist. And I started the hand drumming a lot sooner. I mean, because I used to be a drummer when I was a young teenager before I started having kids. And then I had my first son when I was a teenager. So that kind of messed up everything. But it was a pretty good band. I was playing big time music, you know. Cover tunes like Indigada Davida. A lot of, I opened up for a lot of bands like Tavares, OJ's, Earth, Wind and Fire one time. That was awesome. That was an awesome show. Some big bands like that came down to Martha's Vineyard. So they needed a frontliner, you know, to open up the shows. So my band played. And I was the girl drummer. Back then, girl drummers weren't like, who does that? But I've always been a drummer all my life. And then I stopped. I left the Vineyard and moved to Dorchester. Had my drums. I was in a R&B band for a little while in Dorchester. But all we did was rehearse. We never went out and played. And then the blizzard of 78 happened. And I ended up selling my drums for $150. I still want to kick myself in my ass for doing that to pay my rent. Can you believe that? I had to pay my rent. That's what I did. And I had struggled to even buy that drum set before I left the Vineyard. It was hard work buying a full drum set, but I did it. And then moved, and then, you know, just things happen. Things happen. But I don't recommend that to any musician. Never sell your instrument unless you've got something else better. Don't even pawn it. You make other ends meet. You know, just do what you got to do. Oh, it's getting breezy out here. So, that's the story of my beginnings And then I put it on hold for a long time. I had more kids, which I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I mean, I'm glad now that it's over, you know, that I did do it while I was young. But at the time, it was like rough, you know. Most of the time, I'm raising my kids by myself. And no help except for my family, you know, my mom, my siblings. Give thanks and praises for them being there to help out. I wanted to go on the service, actually. I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to drive one of those jets, you know. Well, I don't know if they had jets then, but the fast planes. I wanted to drive them. I mean, fly them, not drive them, but you know. But I had a kid, and at that time, you couldn't go in unless you were married and had someone to watch your kid. You couldn't just give it to a family member. Now you can do that, I guess, according to what my sister told me. She went in the Coast Guard. Things were a little bit lighter in the Coast Guard, but for the Air Force, you couldn't go in there with kids. Well, at least for female pilots. Now anybody could be a pilot. You just got to do the training. But that didn't happen, so you know, I did other things that I had to do in my life. Raise my kids. I moved to Cambridge and had 5 kids here with an idiot father, and I have to forgive it, because I have to let it go, because I didn't know any better. But I love my kids, and I raised them all myself. So they're all great kids. All of my kids are good. They're all doing great. And they all have kids too. So it's all good. You know, I did a good job. Yay! Matter of fact, today is my oldest son's birthday. The one I had when I was a teenager. So, not much older than he is. Nah. But he's doing great. So, he's a good pillar of the family. He's good, you know, good role model to the other siblings. He helped out with everything as an older sibling does, like I did with my siblings. And he's a barber, so that was what he always wanted to do. He was cutting hair at the age of 12, I believe, because somebody cut his hair and he didn't like the way they did it. So he got a pair of clippers and he went and put a bowl on his head. You know that was the time when playing kid wasn't, you know, like big. So he wanted his hair like that. So he put a bowl on his head and then zoomed it all the way. He didn't do a great job, but he tried. I tried to trim it for him, but he got mad at me. And he went back again and did his clippers by himself. And that's how he learned. He learned by cutting his own hair. I have 2 other barbers in the family, and that's basically how they learned how to do stuff, is on their own heads. Yeah. So that's good. But back to me and my drumming. Right now, that is where my world is right now, is just drumming. So August, tentatively, that is a gig that I will be doing. And sorry for the people here. They don't want to acknowledge me, then so be it. When I start flying, because I'm already starting to, I just will forget about them too. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to move. You got to move like that sometimes. You got to just like let go and just fly, you know? So, that's what I'm going to do. I do play with Sambalolo, but we haven't had no gigs yet. We have some coming up. And I will always play with Sambalola. That's a West African band. That's how I started out, playing African music. And reggae is easy for me. But I love playing R&B and funk and soul, you know, blues. I played for a long time at the Cantab with those kind of songs, with like a jam session with different musicians and different singers, and I play all night long. And now we don't have the jam anymore, so I can't go there and just sit in. But I need to start making money. I have to make money right now. So my friend Doc, actually, Kent Yard, him and I are going to start doing like a dual thing. Probably here in Cambridge somewhere, maybe Harvard Square, Inman Square. I have a little location I think would be an awesome place for us to play. He plays steel pan and a little keyboard, and I will play the, you know, percussion. I'm not bringing out the kit, but I'll play my djembe and congas and stuff. And then we want to do it in Harvard Square too, you know, just sit. Because we like to just keep playing, so we could play all day long and make some change until somebody decides to acknowledge. You know, this is why I stopped playing music for a long time. I had bands here back in early 90s. After I got out of radio and television school and recording arts. I did that. I did that in 89 till probably 95. I went to school for television in the day, radio at night, and then I went back when I graduated to go do recording arts because I couldn't do all three at once. And then I also was acting. I went to acting school. I went to modeling school. So I did all of that in my early 90s of 1990s. And I also did a lot of Caribbean things like playing mass, if anybody knows what that is, from Trinidad and Tobago. So I used to wear big giant costumes and dance in the streets and compete with the others. I loved it. I loved it. I was good at it. The last one I did was in 1999 in New York and Boston, and I came in first place in both. Yeah, nobody was happy. What I mean is, the other women that I was competing against did not like that Angel won. But do you think I cared? No, I didn't. I did my job. If you don't do your job, when you put those costumes on and you don't move your costume, I don't care how pretty it is. The judges are not going to give you the scores that you think you deserve. You don't deserve anything if you ain't moving them costumes. You gotta have the lights hitting you. You know how that light back there is like bothering me? Those lights have to hit your costume and set it on fire. And that year, my costume was called Eternal Flame. So what does that mean? It means you need to be on fire when the lights hit you. They try to sabotage me. Yeah, I'm coming out with everything that's aggravating me right now. The DJ tried to sabotage me because I came on late. Not because I was late, but because they didn't acknowledge me. So the song theme that I was supposed to dance to, he didn't put that on. He put something else on that had nothing to do with the Eternal Flame. The song I was supposed to dance to had the words fire in it, right? Or flame or something like that. I can't remember the name of the song right now. So what does he play? Pussycat. Now I gotta turn my costume into flames with a Pussycat song. But I did it. Then lights hit that costume and you heard the people screaming. Like, I felt like I was on fire. I felt the lights in my eyes. I'm like, oh shoot, I can't even see where I'm moving to. But I got that costume on fire, both Boston and New York. A woman in Boston, when I went on to compete there, she wasn't doing the same competition as me. She was a queen. But she tried to sabotage my costume and was sitting before I had put it on. And Glenn at the time seen her do it, and he said, yo, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? He put her in check real quick. So I did the same thing there. I've been to a lot of things. Yes, I have. A lot of people in the world just can't handle Angel. They can't handle Angel. I don't care though. I'm still here. I'm still doing my thing. Other people are not doing their thing. I put up a post today on TikTok. There's this TikTok, you know, sometimes they tell you how you should do it, and I just wanted to try it. So what you have to do is you have to get 7 to 8 second piece, right? And then you got to write the words. And the words they said to write was, if you're seeing this, it's a sign to, and then you have to write your own quote. So I say it's a sign to make new changes to your world, right? And I forgot why I was telling you about that. Well, that there alone means I'm telling you that's what you got to do. You got to make changes. So if people don't want to acknowledge you, and people don't want to roll with you, and people don't want to, help you or lift you or do any of that, make new changes. I'm rolling with myself. That's it. Can't rely on nobody. I love you, but I can't rely on you. Can't do it. Mm-mm. And I do have some good people behind me that encourage me every day when they see me doing what I do. And these are professionals. And I'm going to work with professionals, because people who don't want to encourage somebody, it kind of like ruins your vibe, you know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, what's that? Pamela. No, is that Pamela? Yeah, Pamela. How are you? Welcome on board. If people don't want to encourage you to do big things, then they're going to stay right where they are. Do I want to be around that? No. I'm going somewhere. And like I said, when my wings start flying, then everybody's going to come flocking. But I'll be already gone. Because this is my time. This is me. I am flying. I'm putting on my wings myself. I don't need you to teach me how to fly. I have grounded myself. I have had myself caged for far too long. So we're not doing that no more. When I had the bands, I was saying I had some bands around the, probably the middle 90s. Here, right here in Cambridge. After I got out of school. And I didn't know a lot about bands. I mean, I'd been in a band before, but I wasn't the leader of a band, you know what I'm saying? Gail, what's up? So these were my bands. I say bands because I had to go through like 3 bands till I finally said, I'm done with this. I had people in the band that were not qualified. There were maybe 3 people that I worked with off and on that actually knew something about music. And I was playing keyboards, you know, not great, but just playing it and singing. I wrote my own songs, so they're not cover tunes that we didn't do. We just did my songs. And the people that came into the band, that I was a nice person. I just am. And if you want to contribute to my music or come into my world of music, I was not having a problem with that. But when you come in and you start telling me how to do my music that I wrote, I did everything, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm saying I know the chord structure. I know how to play the piano a little bit. I'm not great at it, but I know how to get the chord structure in. I know what the beat is that I want it. All I need is for you as a musician is to enhance what I'm already doing. So I had this one person, I've told this story 1,000 times, that made a mistake, and I was involved with this person for a little while, and I don't even know why. I still can't. When I think about it, I like get an instant headache trying to figure out why did I go through that. Gail knows what I'm talking about, but I went through it, and it was a learning lesson for sure. For sure, it was, and he just, he's like a flea. He just kept coming in the band constantly, like injecting himself in there, and he wasn't that good. But because he had this Rasta look, other people let him be there, and he played the guitar a little bit. He wasn't, I don't know, I just felt like, now that I know about music a little bit better, he really wasn't that good. But whatever, it doesn't matter now, right? He came in the band and he would try to change my songs. And he would tell the musicians, no, do it this way. And he would change up the whole chord structure of the song. So then I can't sing it because I'm already got it geared in my head. I'm the one that wrote the lyrics. I know where it's supposed to fall in the music. I'm playing the keyboard. And then we had another keyboard player come in. Her name was Rose. She was better at the keyboard than me. So she came in, and he's messing her up. She knew that it wasn't right what he was telling her to do, but like you couldn't argue with this person. So I kicked him out of the band for a while, and then I had issues. It just became a burden, so I crashed that band. Then I made a second band, better musicians. So the whole point was I didn't always have great musicians, because people at that time didn't want to recognize a woman trying to do music. So if you can't do all the instruments yourself, it's like you have no respect. None. I know a lot of female artists who have gone through that. But I was determined, because I'm that kind of person. I was determined to make it happen. That's what I went to school for. Recording arts, all of that. Who's that? Music Sean, how are you? So, yeah. I crashed the first 2 bands because that one person, that one idiot, kept coming back and trying to take over the bands, and he wanted to do his own music. And because, like I said, he had this Rasta look, even though he wasn't really a Rasta man, but people were fooled by it. As I was coming into being a Rasta woman and learning the things that I learned about being Rasta, I started noticing this man he's just a camouflage, he's just, but it's irrelevant. I let things go, so we have to forgive and let go. So I have forgive and let go. And I'm just telling the story of it, you know what I mean? So, third time is the charm, right? If it didn't work, It wasn't going to work. And the fight is that as a female, not necessarily that I was a female artist, I was doing reggae. And at the time, women were being given a hard time. If you don't have a full band that actually works right, and you're not a very demanding stand-up kind of person, you know, and maybe hit somebody over the head with something, kick them down, boom, you know. If you weren't that kind of woman, or you didn't sleep around, which I didn't do, you weren't going to get what you needed. I got disrespected so many times, it was ridiculous. So I said, you know what, I'm done with that. Done with it. I'm done with it. But I did sing a lot with Sir Cecil. He had a reggae jam session, and he would make me come in and sing and go on stage with him. And he's like my big brother. He kind of guided me and said, you can do anything you want to do. He even encouraged me to get back on the drums. And then I haven't got back on the drums, but he was encouraging me to do so. I told this story before, so I'm not going to tell it again, but he put me on stage with an Ethiopian Dread. His name was Ethiopian Dread, and nobody on the stage knew his music, and it was really tricky. The beat is really tricky, and remember, I was just coming back into playing drums, so I threw a drumstick at him. I apologize, but he asked for it. He was not very nice to me, so pew! He got it. And I got up and left the drums. I said, I ain't playing behind this jerk. I'm not doing it. Of course, Sir Cecil, said, no, you got to get back up there. I said, I'm not playing behind that person. Not going to do it. Somebody else got to do it. Because he can't. Nobody knows his music. We don't know what he wants. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pretend to be playing behind somebody that is being a jerk. Music Sean, what's up? Let me see. Peace and love to you too. Yeah, yes. Your Highness, I am. Mm-hmm. Empress. So, right now, I don't want to be in anybody's band. I just want to play my drums. That's all I want to do. I want to be hired for what I know how to do. Now, if you're a band and you want to hire me to sit in with you, you got to pay me separately. Yeah, that's the way it goes. I'm skilled that much that I know you have to pay me. I'm not going to do it for free anymore. I did it free, and now this is how it is because I did it free. Now you don't want to call me when you're doing stuff that you're getting paid for. I helped you out with fundraisers. That's all right. It's all right. It's cool. It's cool. I know I'm gonna get real blows for that. But that's where I'm at right now. I gotta speak up for myself. If I don't speak up, who's gonna do it for me? Remember earlier, Thomas? I said, who's gonna catch me if I fall? Thomas said he'll catch me if I fall. What about you, Music Sean? Would you catch me if I fall? Because there's not too many people gonna catch me, and I gotta fly. I gotta fly. I need to be caught in case somebody shoots me out of the sky. That's it. Oh, I got my music on in my ear, but I want to switch ears for a minute. Music keeps me going. I've had music all day playing. Music gets me through everything. Well, Music Sean knows because he plays music in his little store all the time. And he's a singer. Tell him about it. What are you saying? Most definitely you'd catch me. So see, now I got two saviors. All right. That's what I like. That's what I'm talking about. Save me. from these disastrous situations. But I am going to, you know, rise up out of this. I gotta do something to make money right now. It's like this stupid guy running our country is just making everything hard for all of us, and I can't live like that. I can live with literally nothing, right? Because I do know how to do that. But you got to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, if you're taking my money away from me, I got to make money. Because I got bills to pay. Ain't nobody paying them for me. Glenn ain't here no more. Well, that's life. I know I'm ranting today. I really am, but I can't help it. Every now and then you just gotta let loose and just speak your mind and say what's on it. Because if you don't, it stays stuck inside. And when it gets stuck inside, life gets more complicated by the minute. And I'm not going to do that this time around. I've been doing that all my life. Like making compensation for other people. Right? And nobody wants to make any compensations for me. So I've got to stand up for my rights right now. And I have been a rebel many, many times in my life. Many times I have stood up and made a ruckus. And when I make a ruckus, then things change. You know, things get back to where they should be. Like when I had my first kid. I was a teenager. I guess evidently there was a rule that if you have a kid when you are, you know, 16 to 18, you can't be in school. They kick you out. Well, that didn't happen to me because I had the whole school protest. The principal didn't like me. He was trying to throw me out. I said, wait a minute. I didn't even know I was pregnant. But now that I do know, you can't kick me out. I'm almost going to, you know, like, no, you ain't kicking me out. And I had everybody make signs. I had parents that belonged to those kids that made the signs, and they all came on the school buses at the school. And I stood there. Principal said, you can't come in here. I said, I'm coming to school. Because if I can't come into school, no one's coming in. He goes, you can't do that. I said, well, I guess it's going to happen because if you don't let me in, that's... Guess what? You had to let me in. You had to let me in. And now, guess what? That school now has a daycare for young mothers. Yeah. So I made changes. I was good at standing up for my rights, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm standing up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Right now I'm standing up for my rights for music. You know, I can play any genre. The only one I can't do too good yet, I say yet because I'm working on it, is Mexican music, Spanish music. I love it, and I do like to play the congas. So I want to get better at the grooves, and that's what I'm working on. I haven't put any videos up with me doing it because I want to perfect it first, and then once I get it, when I get my hands going where they're supposed to be going, then I'll do some music like that because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's a combination between African drumming and reggae, so it's like right in that vein. It's just that you got to go a little bit faster, you know, like so, and you got to play. Yeah, but I'm working on that. I want to be able to play all types of music. Not so much hardcore rock, but if I had to, I think I can handle it. But I don't want to do that. That's not a vibe I want, you know. So But how's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's the weekend. I've been playing music on my page all day, like on my stories. Kicking off the weekend for you. Are you all catching that vibe? Are you getting that vibe? That love vibe? Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm at today. I'm going to go home in a few minutes. I'm not going to stay on too much longer. It's starting to get chilly out here. And the sun has gone down, as you see behind me. It's not there anymore. I want to go home and start kicking down some drums and slapping some skin. That's my new word now. I'm going to beat the skin off my drums. Kick the drums. And work on some new grooves. Every day I want to work on at least 2 songs on each thing, like the kit drumming and then also the hand drumming, you know. So I'm trying to work out patterns. So I have the congas in there, I have my 2 djembes in there, and I'm trying to, you know, perfect my hand movements. And on the drums, I already know how that goes on the regular kit. I just got to get the timing and stuff going. Some songs, these new era songs, are sometimes a little bit tricky. And I think why it's tricky is because they're recorded in a program and it's not a real drummer. Occasionally, a real drummer will come in and try to emulate what you're hearing in the drum tracks that are laid. But I can hear the difference. And that's because I did go to recording arts, right? I learned that. And Glenn was producing music. So I would hear him in there doing the beats on the keyboard and laying down those tracks for the thing. But he would take the music and go into a big studio. And he would lay down the drum tracks. The bass player would lay down the bass. The guitar and keys, all of them would do their thing before they let the singer come in. So I know a lot about recording arts. I just don't want to do it anymore. But I could do it. I could produce music. I just don't want to do that right now, especially with my vision. So that's not happening right now. So when I'm drumming, if I could only have my headphones in my ears while I'm drumming and still hear it on the Bluetooth, which I haven't figured out how to do yet, on the speakers, so I could actually hear it, because I have to hear everything. I have to hear all of it. And I'm a one-woman show, meaning I got to work with the tools I have. You know what I mean? I can't do it the way I know I should be doing it, because I don't have all the equipment that I need. And I can't see to hook up some of the equipment that I do have, so it's whatever. I'm just trying to make it happen. And so when I'm on the kit drums, I've got to listen to I got to sit and hear the song at least 3 times without playing. Well, playing, but not playing. Meaning if I have to listen to the hi-hat, cymbals, so all of that goes in one setting. And then I got to listen to the kick drum, because that's connecting with the bass line of the bass player. So I got to listen to that and play that for a while with the hi-hat. So you got your 2 feet moving, right? And then I got to listen to the snare and the toms. So there's 3 times I got to listen before I start playing. That's what I do. And then sometimes I have to start to play them all together, break it down, and then I can't hear the music, and then I get screwed up. So but I'm getting there. I'm proud of myself. Aren't you proud of me? Shoot, most people can't do what I do. I am a multitasker. I get things done. When I make up my mind to do something, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. You can't. You can't stop me. Most women, and I say women, I'm not talking about men, because men are a little bit more aggressive, I think. Most women in the vein of what I'm doing right now. And hi, how are you? I'm not a teenager anymore, right? I'm a grown-ass woman doing this. Most women my age, or I don't even like to use the word age, but most women where I'm at right now in my life would have gave up. I'm telling you. I know, I'm around a lot of them. I see them. Except for my close friends like Gail and Wendy and Pamela that were in here. Most women give up. And don't do anything new at this stage of the game. They don't do it. They fold up. They fall apart. And I'm not being mean to them right now because, hey, I understand it. Some days I don't want to do nothing. Some days I just want to fall apart. But there's always this little thing inside of me that says, get your ass up and get busy. What the hell are you doing? And I get up. I shake it off. Keep it moving. And that's what I do. So, I'm not giving up what I'm doing right now because I love what I'm doing. And there's gonna be something big happening. I could feel it. That's why I said, will you catch me if I fall? Because I'm gonna start flying. And I want to know who's on my side that I can rely on. So right now I got Thomas and I got Music Sean on my side. Probably Gail and Pamela were in here earlier. They're women. They know how it is. It's you can't stop me now. Sorry. If you couldn't stop me when I was younger, what makes you think you're going to stop me now? I know too much now. I'll just say it. I know too much. Yeah, I know too much. And I cannot settle to not be doing what I'm doing. I can't. My kids are just now understanding what I'm all about. They're just now waking up to smell the coffee. They were thinking I was joking. I'm just doing this for a hobby. No, I'm not. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I should have been doing when I had you. I mean, I'm glad I had my kids young so I could do this now. And I want to encourage my grandchildren, because they're all doing their different things that they're doing. But I want them to know, when you decide to do something, don't sit down and wait for somebody to do it for you. Get up and do it. It's going to be trials and there's going to be tribulations. It's not going to be easy. But you can't give in. The other day, I was playing my drum out in Emmons Square, in this patio. And, I love this song that's on right now. So I was playing my drum, and my granddaughter calls me, and she says, Nina, where are you? And I said, I'm down the square. She goes, why? And I said, I'm playing my drum. And she goes, what? So she goes, I'm coming down. She comes down and she brings my grandson, Liam, who is very musically inclined. And I'm hoping my daughter listens, that she should do whatever she can to help that boy play music. Don't discourage him, because he's very naturally inclined to doing music, every instrument that he decides he wants to play. He should be encouraged to do it until he decides he doesn't want to do it. So he had a pair of bongos, and they didn't want him to have it at home. So the bongos were in my house. So this day that I go down the square, I put my drum in a wagon, and I walked all the way to the square, but I also put in his bongos and some little bongos, because there's little kids that come to the square, and they like what I was doing. And I felt like if I'm there, I could be helping kids to play drums. Not to get paid or anything, but just to have them touch the skin, you know, and play a percussion instrument and be empowered, because drumming is very empowering. So I had them drums there, and my grandson comes running over, and he's all excited because he sees me playing, and he knows I play because he's been around me a lot. And he's like me. We like to just do these things. So I said, I have your bongos here. Do you want them? He goes, yeah. I take them out. Before I could give them to him, he's already behind my drum, my djembe. He goes, no, I think I'll just stick with this drum right here. But he doesn't know how to control his hands, right? Yeah, on the djembe. So I said, okay, so let's try to listen to the music, and I'll kind of teach you how to get the groove going, you know, because one hand has to be doing something different, and one has to be carrying the other part. And he goes, I don't know what that means. I said, well, then we're going to listen. You're going to pay attention. You're going to count. Drumming is about counting, and you're learning drumming, and you're learning drum. Do you want me? Oh, so if you would just listen to the drumming, you'll know exactly what to do. So that's what we did. I was teaching them on the fly, you know, nothing spectacular. And I recorded it, but I uploaded a piece of it that wasn't really that great. But later in the song, he got it. He got exactly what I was trying to teach him. So that's the thing that I want to do. I want to keep on bringing the drums out and having kids come over and, you know, and engage that way. I think it would be great. You're not kicking me out, right?
No, you're good. You're good.
Last time somebody tried to say I can't be here, I'm like, the building's closed. Like,
yeah. I think I've seen you here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to be outside.
Yeah. I'm doing my live, so it's quiet over here, you know.
All right, enjoy.
You too. So yeah, that's what I'd be doing. I just want to, I don't want to be a teacher or anything, but I will definitely help kids feel free to learn instruments, because that's how I learned. I didn't take lessons when I was a kid. I just had mentors who I watched and paid attention to, like in church. You know, my grandmother was a musician in the church, and they didn't have drums in that church. I was in the Baptist church, but at that time they didn't have that. She just played the organ, she played piano, she had plenty of those instruments around. So music was always in my life, you know what I mean? But my mom said I've been banging on things since I was small, so it ain't changed. I'm still doing it. My hands like banging. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, go home and do some more banging, you know. I'm going to go. I blame you for having me here, but I need to get on up out of here, you know. Go play some drums. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go play some songs, and the weekend is here, so go enjoy yourself. Play some music all weekend, and remember me while you do it. And think about how you'll catch me when I fall. Because people are going to try to knock me out of the sky, but it ain't gonna work. Oh! I blame you. So I'll talk to you all later. Thank you for being here with me. I enjoyed the conversation. I really did. I hope you all did too. I hope that you all have a great weekend and rest of the week. And I'll come on here again soon. All right? So peace and love. Mwah. No hair grease, just dreadlocks. I'll talk to you later. Now let's see, where's the button? Where's the button? Have a great weekend.